Just 5 films to talk about this week, which is good because we're busy this weekend especially. Welcome. She is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And this is the Screening Room Podcast. Hit it.
Are either one of these any good?
Wow, this is a good movie.
It's pretty good.
Well, the director from yesterday doesn't think so.
It stinks.
He's sorry. You waste our film. It's so bad.
Yeah, we are chock full of movies this week. Not only the ones we're talking about, but it's Nightmares Film Festival week.
It is.
Here in Columbus, Ohio. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas comes early for us.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
If you haven't heard, where you been? It's one of the leading genre festivals in the world. 10th anniversary this year, which is super cool. And a great new 10th anniversary t-shirt. I'm sporting one from, this was actually the pandemic year.
Yeah, it was.
Where they had it online, which was also very cool.
It's a great t-shirt.
Yeah. So always a different logo. Very cool this year. And so many great movies. We've got features. We've got shorts. You're doing a writing workshop.
I am.
Which is cool. There are panels and just a fantastic opportunity for networking and meeting fans and making new friends. And if you can't make it this year, but put it on the calendar for next year.
Yeah.
It is.
If you like horror movies, you need to come to this.
You got to be
amazing.
Here. And the theater, the Gateway Film Center.
Oh yeah.
Right there on the Ohio State University campus. Go Bucks! And it's beautiful. I mean, everybody that comes. I mean, sometimes you go to film festivals, and God bless them. You know, they're in hotels and things like that, and that's cool.
Or they're scattered around at different theaters all over town.
But you're all in this great theater, and you've got a bar on premises and upstairs too, and then you've got a few restaurants around. So it's perfect.
Yes,
it's a great atmosphere. So we could go on and on.
Yeah, the movies are amazing.
But we've got a few to talk about this week.
We do.
And speaking of spooky season,
right.
Why don't we start with a spooky one?
First up in theaters, as Finn, now 17, struggles with life after his captivity, his sister begins receiving calls in her dreams from the Black Phone and seeing disturbing visions of 3 boys being stalked at a winter camp known as Alpine Lake. Black Phone 2.
New Black Phone, who dis? Someone had to say it.
I don't think they did.
How many years ago? 2 or 3 years ago, Black Phone. We liked it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We liked it, yeah, based on the Joe Hill short story.
That's right.
And I guess that's one of the inherent weaknesses about this is not based. They had to come up with something totally new,
right?
Out of whole cloth. So, but if you like the throwback feel.
Yes.
This supplies it. And blood too.
Yeah, it does. So in the first one, to sort of pad out the short story to feature-length film, they had this B story about Finney's sister and her dreams, and that she could she helped the police figure out what was going on because she has these premonitions and dreams. That's really where the entire second film lives, is her dreams. And she has dreams that convince her that they have to go to this sleepaway camp. And it's in Colorado. It's the mountains of Colorado. So as soon as they arrive, actually, before they get there, there's this massive snowstorm. And so the only people there are Finney and his sister, Gwen, and her maybe could be boyfriend, but definitely the kid that wants to take her to see Duran Duran. And they get stranded at this camp, and it's all the grabber has something to do with it. And I don't want to give away anything. One of the things I liked about this movie was that Scott Derrickson, who is the director, he really had the time stamp of the first one spot on.
He really did. The
70s.
Oh, yeah, really well done.
And in this case, we've moved on to, I'm going to say 1982 because of the Duran Duran. And one of the great things about that era, especially for a sleepaway camp horror movie, is that's really where you remember all of those. And so without being like really too, beat you about the head with it, there's a lot of sort of callbacks. Obviously, Friday the 13th. Also, because of the dreams and everything, right? A Nightmare on Elm Street, actually episodes 1 and 4. And then there's even my favorite. There's a little curtains in there. That was fun. There's a lot of snowbound horror. There's a really solid supporting cast. And I think one of the problems, including Demi Bashir, who's always great. One of the problems with the movies, there's maybe not quite enough Ethan Hawke. And also that there's probably too much of the family melodrama. There's a really heavy helping of schmaltz, especially at the very end of the film, which is too bad because the climax is bloody. It's nasty. I'm like, all right, okay.
You know, and I remember in the original one being impressed by Madeline McGraw.
Yeah, she. I mean, she carries the whole. The film is about her more than it is about Finney. And Mason Thames, he's kind of struggles a little bit with a character who, in the first film, he's just like sort of wholesome, good kid, and in this one, he's angry from everything he went through, and he doesn't pull it off. The brooding, angry teenage boy who gets into a lot of fights. You're like, no, that's Hiccup. I don't believe that at all. So, it definitely has a few issues, and it also, it just is, it's one of those films that the fact that it's a sequel and that they're mining totally whole cloth territory because they're digging into the part they made up in for the first film anyway. It just doesn't feel as sharp or as scary as the first one did.
And this one doesn't feature Ethan Hawke really out of the mask at all.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah, so it's a little diminished part there.
But if Gwen doesn't solve this mystery and get home in time, she's going to miss the Duran Duran concert, and that is a level of tension I'm not prepared for. How did it
rate on the authenticity of the fandom? Because one of these days, some director is going to tap you for your dream job, the Duran Duran consultant.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yes.
Like a physician getting the medicine stuff right. We want to make sure we get the Duran Duran stuff right because that's big with you. Got to get to that concert.
That's right.
Get these serial slashers be damned. Right.
She said Simon Labana's choice.
Choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I don't remember that being a
I don't
thing
either, to be
80s,
honest with you. At one point, Demi Bashir says, yeah, it's been a minute. I'm like, really? In 1982?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. But yeah, Black Phone 2. And Scott Derrickson is a co-writer as well. Was he on the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
He almost always works with C. Robert Cargill on everything. And so they co-wrote the last one with Joe Hill.
So, but keep in mind, it is R.
Oh,
and the blood, the blood earns that R. But yeah.
Also, the foul language, which is one of my favorite things, is that these kids, especially the girl Gwen, just foul mouth. It was just fun.
So it got your Duran Duran and your foul mouth kids.
Right.
Check those off.
And there's a Pink Floyd needle drop. So it's really everything I love. Yeah. I know it. Yeah. You think I'd have liked it better.
But it's not terrible.
No,
it's not terrible.
No, it's a perfectly fine waste of time.
And especially if you like the first Black Phone. And let's face it, that mask is creepy.
It is creepy.
I mean, Ethan Hawke was great in that last one. So even if he's just in the mask, that's a creepy mask.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good mask. And hopefully, kids, I want to see some of those masks on my doorstep this Halloween. That'd be cool. So Black Phone 2, yeah. It's perfectly serviceable. Sequel doesn't rise to the level of the first one. But for spooky season, it is in the theaters now.
A comedy in theaters next. A well-meaning but rather inept angel named Gabriel meddles in the lives of a struggling gig worker and a wealthy venture capitalist. It's Good Fortune.
So this is writer and director Aziz Ansari. I believe his debut as at least a director and probably a writer as well. And this is a comedy. You take some Heaven Can Wait. You take some Trading Places. You take a little bit of Christmas Carol, maybe even for the rich guy learning some lessons. And that's the story here. And Keanu Reeves is a hoot. He's sort of riffing on his Bill and Ted character. And I'll be honest, I forget which one he was, Bill and or Ted. But he's riffing on that character as a dim-witted, well-meaning angel with small wings because he has to earn them to get bigger. And he's assigned to texting and driving. Is your guardian angel, and he saves somebody right away who's texting and driving. Don't do it. No. Don't do it. No. But what he wants to do is he wants to move up quickly, and he wants to save some lost souls. But the lead angel, played by Sandra Oh,
always great.
She's got big wings because she's very knowledgeable and she's earned them. She says, "No, you gotta just stay in your lane, do your thing." Well, he can't do that, so he starts meddling in the lives of this gig worker played by Aziz, who's living in his car and he's just trying to, deliver DoorDash and things and get money any way he can, while at the same time sort of flirt with and maybe start dating Keke Palmer. Right.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. You live in your car. You don't get to date Keke Palmer.
And also the life of this tech bro millionaire played by Seth Rogen. and their paths cross
And his
because
annoying laugh.
because Aziz does some work for him. They deliver some stuff, and they make friends, and he starts doing some work around the house. And so the meddling gets their two lives switched. And now the rich guy is poor and the poor guy is rich. And Keanu, the angel, thinks he's gonna teach Aziz some lessons about appreciating his life and realizing what he has once he gets all the problems of being insanely rich. Well, guess what? Aziz said, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good because my problems, you know what? They're all pretty much all solved by being insanely rich.
Yes.
So that threw Keanu for a loop, and Sandra Oh is not happy, so she takes his wings, and now he's human. Now he's got to try to sort this thing out with the three of them by being human, which he's not used to doing. He's never had a hamburger before. Come on. So that's the whole conflict, and it's amusing. It's a clever enough riff on these three things, especially. I mean, he does have the gig economy stuff down. I mean, he gets those points across for anyone who has ever just ordered DoorDash and didn't really know about the industry and how it works and maybe how these people are just abused.
Yeah.
You know, it gets those points across about the economy that we're in and how people are struggling every day to do 6-7 jobs any way they can to get by. Well, of course, the people at the top just tell them all to get better jobs. So it's going to move toward that Christmas Carol type of thing. I've seen how the other half lives. We know that's where it's going. That's not spoiling anything. And to get there, it's got some laughs. I mean, if you have seen Aziz Ansari's stand up and think he's very funny, then you're going to find it more funny than I did. I think he's fine. It's totally clever, amusing, had a couple of laugh out loud moments. And, the Keanu's part, the way he riffs on his own past roles is kind of fun. I thought it was interesting that it's in theaters.
Yeah.
I thought this one really felt like a streamer to me. It really did. But as a first step as a writer director to Aziz Ansari, I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse, especially in comedy. So yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of his, check it out. It's not going to be it's not blazing any trails, but it is speaking to the moment. I think pretty well.
Yeah.
It is. Toward the end, it's pretty overt about it. But that's the kind of movie that it is. So there's some fun to be had here. So it's not terrible. It's good fortune, and it is in theaters now.
Also in theaters, a college professor finds herself at a personal and professional crossroads when a star pupil levels an accusation against one of her colleagues, and a dark secret from her own past threatens to come to light. After the Hunt.
Whew. How long do we have to talk about this movie?
I know,
Jeez, oh, Pete.
So this is the new one from Luca Guadagnino, and we're always, no matter what, we're in. Like we absolutely want to see whatever he has to do. And this cast, top to bottom, really, really, really good. Julia Roberts is great in it. Andrew Garfield is amazing.
He really is. Andrew Garfield is really, really good.
He is. Ayo Edebiri is great in it. Chloe Sevigny in a small part. Yeah, Michael Stuhlbarg, always wonderful.
It's a solid cast. And of course, Luca, it's the visuals are so lush, as they always are, as it's set at Yale Academia. And it's the writer, is Nora Garrett. And man, I give her credit for biting off a big piece. This is ambitious.
Yes.
This is really ambitious. And it gets muddled. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And we've always said before, we give you credit for big swings. And this script is a big swing. Man, is it a big swing. It's a big swing. As it's set in academia at Yale. And it's almost like these characters, they're all pushed to the point, I think, and certainly I'm no professor, haven't really been around, Yale staff, but they seem like they're pushed to the limit of almost parody.
Yeah.
They're just so elitist. And, I compared them to those characters in South Park that smell their own farts. It's that close, I think, to from caricature to parody. But these actors are so good with it that you get, even when it goes off the rails to train wreck territory, and it does, I was engaged with it. I was compelled with it. I was.
One of the things that's fascinating about it is that they are philosophy professors, and Julia Roberts and Andrew Garfield are collaborating on a paper that's going to hopefully get them both tenure. So when Ayo Edebiri's character, who is a star pupil, Or is she? Maybe she's not. Maybe she's a little bit fake and all that. When she accuses Andrew Garfield's character of something, she never says exactly what, but you have
impropriety.
Then Julia Roberts' character is like, she ought to be supporting this young woman. She's not sure she believes her. She knows for certain that it's going to cause problems with her tenure. So the movie just looks at all of this he said, she said, and it never ever tells you who is telling the truth. And so, but because it's set in a philosophy department, and all they do all day is sort of debate the idea of morality, and then so the film is putting that into, active life. That now they are actively debating morality in terms of what they ought to be doing, and I applaud it because the film looks at this from all different angles, but it doesn't ever clarify anything. And that is also the reason it is so frustrating, because it's only an exercise in philosophy. It is not an exercise in a plot.
Yeah, and these characters are so self-satisfied. They're so convinced of their own higher evolution on the thinking scale as they discuss these moral matters.
Right.
And that's fascinating as you find out different things about the characters, and none of them are likable.
No.
And different things in their past or their present. And Michael Stuhlbarg, who always finds a way, no matter how small the part, to make it memorable. And man, talk about passive, almost aggressive. When he feels he's been slighted by...
It's a borderline temper tantrum.
Man, it's like look at this guy.
Child.
Yes. Oh my Lord. When he has been questioned, his insight. Yeah. Oh boy. And he's just a real ass, as they all are.
They all are.
And you just go round and round, and when different motivations and different suspicions, and am I backing this person because I really am, or because I'm worried about how not doing it will affect me? And then you start learning about some other things in the past you don't know about, and twisting around, and
there's something here.
There really is.
Yeah,
and then I also, a couple of things that were problematic. It really wants to be at the forefront of the conversation, and it just seems like it's a step behind.
It does.
And I don't think that's really her fault. It's just these issues, they're so ever changing, and the people that are involved with them, all the different sides and all the different ways that it comes out, and the expectations, it's so ever changing that it just seems like it was maybe right on the cusp when she wrote it.
Yeah.
But now it seems like maybe a step behind. And then I didn't love the epilogue.
No, at all.
It sort of shrugs at the whole thing.
It does.
It's curious, but you're right. There's something here.
Yeah.
There really is, and I understand why these actors and why the director was drawn to it. But man, it's just not satisfying. It's not satisfying. It's quite an exercise in acting and scene composition and things like that. But as a story, what to take away from it, I can't say that it's satisfying. But like you said, we always want to see what he's doing.
Yes, for sure.
And there are some good performances here. Yeah, but the overall message, I think, it just gets too messy.
Yeah,
just too messy. But if you're looking for something different
to talk about,
to debate, that is adult drama, and will get you a debate going, here you go. 2 hours and 20 minutes worth, and that's After the Hunt, and it's in theaters.
And on Netflix, two orphans join forces with a family of magical animals to save their city from the powerful Mr. and Mrs. Twit, the meanest, smelliest, nastiest people in the world, the Twits.
They sound fun. The Twits.
That's right. I was excited about this one because it's Roald Dahl, and there's always something very dark and disturbing and delightful about Roald Dahl, and those aren't adjectives you usually sort of use all the same sentence. Also, David Byrne wrote the songs for this.
Yes, I didn't know that. That's great.
It's definitely not an outright musical, but there are a couple of songs in the film, and it tells the story, of the town of Trite Rot, and an orphanage there, and a couple horrible people who live outside of town, and they decide that they're going to start their own amusement park. And things just go wildly wrong from there. And it's got a lot of Dahl about it, in that sometimes it does take a really dark turn, and you're like, wow, how are we going to kid this up in a minute? And I enjoyed that. It also has a really great, they do kid it up in the minute. I think that it has a very interesting story to tell, like a very of the moment kind of story to tell about empathy that I liked. And I thought that the voice cast was pretty great. Margot Martindale is one of the Twits.
You can identify her right away. And she's always a treat.
Yeah, she's hilarious. And Alan Tudyk is this frog that wants you to lick its toes. And he's also hilarious. And Tudyk is so just reliable as a voice actor.
He does a lot of voice work. A lot of voice work, yeah.
He does. I thought the animation was okay. I thought that a lot of the more minor characters were really, really funny. I thought the two heroes were a little bit bland. It's, especially as a Roald Dahl adaptation, I don't think it's one of certainly the best, but it was enjoyable. And I think that it has something that would be entertaining to children and to adults who are watching it as well.
Yeah, it's Netflix.
It's Netflix.
You want to keep them busy for a while?
Yeah.
Fire it up.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this story, though.
And it's been in development for a long time. I think they were going to make it a live action film, and then they were going to make it a series, and then it wound up being an animated film with Netflix. So it's taken a while to get to us, but David Byrne songs.
Yes. Always a plus. So that's cool. So so something for the family, animated, and it is on Netflix right now called The Twits. Say it carefully. The Twits.
Moving to Shudder, Alice returns to her childhood home after her mother's death, only to find the house is rigged with surveillance tracking her every move as a sinister presence lurks, driving her toward a terrifying revelation. Other.
I wish we were keeping a scorecard. How many movies this year have been about returning to your childhood home or inheriting your childhood home, inheriting a piece of property? I mean, just over and over. That has been a really common theme this year. And here's the latest one.
Yeah. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that people can't afford to buy homes anymore. And so this nightmare of if somebody hands you a home and it's the only home you're ever going to be able to afford, but there are serial killers in the basement.
I'll take it.
Aliens are going to lay near your
Give it to me.
I don't know what to do.
I'll Airbnb it. I'll flip it.
So this is from director David Moreau, and we have been following his career since he made a film a long time ago, early 2000s, called Ills, which is Them. It's a French movie.
Yes.
We love it. We love it.
Yes.
We love that movie. And it's and this movie has, I think, a lot in common with that, but he always seems to be pushing the envelope. 2 years ago, he made a movie called Mads. That was like one long consecutive take. That was sort of it was sort of a drug-induced zombie apocalypse kind of a thing. And it was really interesting too. So I'm always interested in what he's going to do, although it doesn't always pan out as with Other. This is Olga Korolienko, I apologize, who is lovely. She's beautiful. And that is good news for us because it's the only face we see the entire runtime, which is one of the conceits of the film, because it's very much about objectification. It's about how you see yourself, how others see you. It's about a surveillance state. So it's all about who sees who and how they see them. And so we don't ever see anybody else's face, either because a screen is cracked or because of the way it's being shot. So there's a lot thematically that ties into that, but it never really plays out particularly well. And she goes home, and once she's at home, because her mother has passed away, you slowly realize sort of how her childhood had been and why she has not been home in such a long time. And also, but you have to ask yourself, do you not hear that? Can't you tell there's another person in this house somewhere? Am I the only one who notices this? And it just stretches this for such a long time. There's no way she wouldn't recognize that there is in fact another person in this house. And also, while I'm not saying that she doesn't have talent, she can't carry an entire film, and that is what she has to do. You're alone with her. She's the only face you see, Korolienko's, and she doesn't have the charisma or the talent to carry that off. Not a lot of people would. I'm sorry that it seems so critical of her, but it's a lot to ask of somebody, especially because I don't think it was written particularly well. There's a lot of just her dancing and being drunk, and you're like, it was a tough assignment. And then the other thing, and it took me a while to decide whether I liked this or I didn't like this. Since none of the other actors do you see their faces, Moreau was free to just clearly hire voiceovers, and so it's all ADR, and it's all European actors faking an American accent. So it all felt like a Lucio Fulci movie to me, which is fun, except that in Fulci movies that works because the movie is nonsensical and it seems to fit the film. In Beyond, you're like, why are all of these Louisianans, why do they all sound like they're here from Italy? Well, because they are. In this movie, he wants very much for you to pay attention to the mystery, and so these bad, and they picked Minnesota. Americans can't do a Minnesota accent.
A tough one, yeah.
It's just, it sounds awful. It sounds awful, and it takes you out of the movie every time somebody else talks.
Yeah.
So on the whole, no, it's a big no. I just got to say, I just didn't care for this movie at all.
And that is Other, and it's on Shudder.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's one on Shudder. So kind of missed there for spooky season. But let's check in with our home office in our home. The Schlocketeer.
Hi.
From another room in the house.
That's
Welcome.
right. That's right. This is how we managed to get him on the show today. Is we drug him to our own home.
Daniel's in town also for Nightmares Film Festival.
That's right.
Yeah, the call is coming from inside the house.
Well played, my friend. Well
and
played.
To take it one step further, have you checked the kitty?
Oh, Velma.
Making friends over there.
Right.
I thought she was going to be mad if I shut the door in our room.
We should have realized now. She's
there.
got Daniel to sit with. She doesn't care
She's
if we live or die.
Making friends. All right, well, let's get to it. What's happening with the studio news and notes this week?
Well, on the studio front, since the last time I've been on here, the potential Warner Brothers Paramount merger has currently died on the vine. And most importantly, Apple TV Plus has dropped the plus. It's now just Apple TV.
Yeah. Okay. On the list of things I'm worried about, that's pretty low. But, HBO, Max, Apple TV, okay, fine.
That's right, whatever. One of the things we like about Shudder, they're always just Shudder.
Just Shudder.
This is true. Dave Bautista's post-apocalyptic action thriller Afterburn is hitting VOD next week on October 21st. And for spooky season, the dog-centric horror flick Good Boy will arrive on Shudder on October 24th.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it in theaters, you'll be able to watch it at home soon.
Who's a good boy?
Who's a good boy?
Indy.
Who needs a boop?
Indy.
Indy needs a boop.
And the exact same day, October 24th, is when Zach Cregger's Weapons is hitting HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one for Halloween. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch that.
Yep. Or rewatch.
Yeah. Or just watch it every day until Halloween.
That's right.
Edward Berger's The Ballad of a Small Player is premiering on Netflix on October 29th. I know that's in limited theatrical release right now, but everyone will be able to watch it soon. And Derek Cianfrance's Channing Tatum movie Roofman is hitting VOD on November 11th.
That was charming. I liked that. We both liked that.
It was
one.
fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Kirsten Dunst is great.
She's
great in that movie.
Yeah.
I hope
So was Peter Dinklage. He was very funny in a small role.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny.
And then Amazon MGM has a new buddy action comedy called Playdate premiering on Amazon Prime on November 12th. And your pairing for that is Alan Ritchson and Kevin James.
You know what? I knew I knew nothing about it. I was going to guess one of the guys was huge, like a wrestler or something. It just sounds like one of those where, Alan Ritchson. Okay. Who I like. But I knew it was going to be some huge guy.
Always. You have to. Aaron Eckhart's dog-centric action sequel, Muzzle: City of Wolves, is hitting VOD on November 14th.
That's a sequel.
Yes.
I totally missed the first one.
Yeah.
I missed it too. And then speaking of sequels, Mark Wahlberg has an action comedy sequel, The Family Plan 2, hitting Apple TV on November 21st.
I like that first Family Plan. And that was one of the first time where we realized, from Sicario 2, who was
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, who was just in Superman, and I'm blanking on her name, and I hate that because she's from Cleveland.
Yeah.
But she was really, really good in that, and then since then has just been really good in everything. So I enjoyed that original Family Plan.
Well, hopefully this one's good too.
Yeah.
And then Brad Pitt's F1 is finally going to be available to stream on Apple TV on December 11th. They've just kind of kept it running in theaters all summer and early fall.
Well, it's one that's better on the big screen. That's one
Yeah.
of those that really needs to be seen on the big screen for all the thrills because it delivers. It really does. If you have a big screen at home, you can get close. But yeah, man, I'm glad they kept it as long as they did because it was worth it.
It definitely was, especially with not only just the visuals but the sound of the theater the theater, just all those engines rumbling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I have one more for you to close it out with spooky season. Paramount has set a January 9th theatrical release for their animal attack horror opus Primate. The trailer for that rolled out recently. Looks really good.
Yeah, I just saw the trailer. I did. I just saw the trailer yesterday when I saw Black Phone, and it does. It seems like it might be creepy. It does.
When animals attack.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you for hanging out in our house with our cat. And,
thanks for cat sitting, Daniel.
We will check in again. The rest of this weekend for nightmares.
We'll see you in like 5 minutes. Is what we're saying.
All right. Appreciate it. You can always catch Daniel on the socials at the Schlocketeer. All right. Thank you much. Looking ahead to next week, we got a couple big ones. One we've already seen.
Yeah.
Frankenstein. We saw the other night, so looking forward to that. And also.
Probably our most anticipated of the year.
Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. Yes.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, very excited about that. I'm excited about the new Richard Linklater, also Blue Moon. That should be pretty great. There's
also,
A Hand That Rocks the Cradle
remake of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Also, The Mastermind.
Yes, that's a new Kelly record. So I always want to see what that
good,
was.
good.
Yeah. Stiller and Mira, right? So that's Ben Stiller's documentary about his parents. That should be pretty great.
Looking forward to that. And Barcelona Underground.
And it's a scary movie.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's all next week. What about this week? What do you like at Black Phone or Good Fortune? Or you want to dive in about After the Hunt? Whew. A lot to chew on there, but we always like to keep the conversation going. You can find us on MaddWolf Columbus on all the socials. You can find us on MaddWolf.com is the main website. And this weekend, the rest of this weekend, you can find us at Gateway Film Center.
Yes, you can.
For Nightmares Film Festival, the 10th anniversary. So by all means, if you're in the area, come on down. It's a great time. And until next week, enjoy the movie. She is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And this is the Screening Room Podcast.
See ya.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.